The winter arc isn't coming. In fact, it's already here. You got to get yourself ready for I hear everybody talking about this winter arc. Everybody's trying to lock in, grind. Everybody wants to be a Sigma male nowadays. A Sigma male grind set. Everybody wants to, you know, level up. I feel like self improvement, has become very trendy over the past couple of years. But honestly, I think it's all fluff. It's all talk, right? You have to make an actual tangible plan if you want this shit to work, right? And I feel like the best way to make this shit work is if you're someone who's seriously, I'm not talking about like people who are just doing this for fun or whatever, like just saying winter arc just to say winter arc. I'm talking about serious people who are actually going to make a plan to change their lives. And if you're one of those people, and if you're watching this video, the first thing you have to do is you have to get jacked. There is no winter arc without getting jacked. Like, I think arguably getting jacked is the most important thing you can do in the winter arc, right? Because I feel like the winter arc is a way for you to recreate yourself. I would even say recreate arc, right? The winter is time for you to change who you are. And the best way to recreate yourself is to get jacked, because when you get jacked, it's a night and day difference. By the way, if you need help doing this, making the transformation, going skinny to jack or obese to jack, I'm the guy for that. I can help you with that. Make sure you click the link in the description to book a one-on-one coaching call, and let's recreate you into the person you want to be. Anyway, back to scheduled programming though. Winter arc, recreate yourself, get jacked. It's literally the only way to recreate yourself. All right. So with getting jacked and like actionable step, I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes right now and imagine what you would actually look like when you actually get jacked. Imagine how your biceps are gonna look. Imagine the triceps. Imagine how you're gonna look in a black tee. You know what I'm saying? Imagine how are you gonna look like when you actually get jacked. Like really picture what you're gonna look like, right? Right. You can open your eyes now. But imagine how good that's gonna feel. Imagine like think about how people are gonna perceive you and treat you when you actually get jacked, right? Now when you have that image, now it's time to make a plan. It's time, this pen kind of sucks, to make a plan. All right, so you gotta figure out what how you're gonna eat. Maybe you're obese, maybe you gotta go on a caloric deficit, maybe you're too skinny, maybe you need to go on a bulk. What do you need to do? Are you gonna bulk, cut, right? Do you need what kind of workout plan? Are you on push pull legs, push pull legs, full body split? You got to figure out what's the plan to get your physique. You got to figure out what is going to be the plan going forward to make sure that you build the jacked physique in this winter arc, right? By the way, like I said again, I can help you with that. I can make a custom plan for you to get jacked based on your personal needs and goals, right? But you got to figure out the plan on how you're going to get jacked. You have to figure out how exactly you're going to do this, right? That's step one. That's step one. Uh, Step two is you got to figure out your environment, right? You got to figure out your environment. So with winter arc and recreating yourself, like when I read I don't know if you guys are familiar with the book 48 Laws of Power, right? And there's a law 25, and it talks about recreating yourself. And that book that law in the book, it really stood out to me because the idea of like being able to change who you are and becoming someone that you actually want to be is what stood out to me in that book. So, and what it talked about in that chapter is there was a lot of things about how your environment can stop you from recreating yourself. Like you're going to face a lot of resistance from the world when you try to recreate yourself, right? So, with that being said, you have to make sure that you have the right environment that fosters your growth, right? Because without the right environment, you can't grow. You need growth, right? And when I'm talking about environments, like imagine you're like a flower, right? And you're in like a shitty ass ecosystem. Like this is like polluted and just negativity, right? Like I don't know. I'm not a environmental scientist, but there's probably like greenhouse gases and shit, and just a nasty ass environment. And you're like a flower trying to grow. You're not gonna grow properly in that kind of environment, right? And if we're gonna put it into real life perspective, like you're probably around, let's be real, you're probably around really shitty people. You're around like flies, you know what I mean? You're around people who would rather eat shit than honey. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You gotta be you are like the flower, right? You're like a flower, you're a bumblebee. You attract good things, right? You gotta separate yourself from the flies of this world. So from the flies of this earth. A lot of you guys are hanging around like negative people. I like to call them flies because I don't know if you heard the saying, bees are better. Sorry, bees are don't waste their time explaining to flies why honey is better than shit. That is so true because a lot of you, we like even like myself, like I had to realize like who in your life is a fly, right? Because a lot of times, if you're like me, you try to like um lift people up with you, but sometimes it doesn't work that way, and you got to realize who are the flies and you got to get around other bumblebees, right? You got to get around other people who are actually have like a growth mindset and are not negative all the time, or like fixed mindset people, because I feel like it's like the more I get older, I'm starting to realize now too, like your surroundings is like important to like your surroundings is like important for growth, because who you surround yourself with will determine like the next 5 years. And I know everybody says this and it sounds cliche, but it's so true. It's literally so true because like I noticed like once I like slowly I like throughout from like my high school days to like now, like as I slowly started to like cut people out, I noticed like my life actually drastically improves. Like, oh, get rid of this person, boop, 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 you just bumped up 2 levels. Get rid of that person, boop, boop, you jumped up 2 levels, right? So you have to get around like-minded people, like-minded. You have to get around like-minded people. All right, people who think the same way, maybe not think the same way as you. People who have like a growth mindset and are actually doing things with their lives, right? Because if you hang around 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth. If you hang around 5 brokies, you'll also be the sixth man on that roster, right? But yeah, and I'm not, and I want to just make a disclaimer that you don't have to go around on a spree of just cutting people off. Like maybe you just have a limit on like how much time you spend with each person. Like maybe okay, you categorize these people into like you know hangout groups, like okay, these type of people I only hang out with them here and there. I'm not going to be around them like that. I hang out with them sometimes. These people, maybe that's your main group that you hang out with the most because they're like actually have a growth mindset, and they're like people who are actually doing stuff with their lives, and they're actually like leveling up. Like you got to figure out who are the people you hang out on like your free time, whatever, and then who are the people who are like you hang out when you're actually trying to be productive. Figure that kind of stuff out, and even like level it out. Like some people be like put them on like a, I think Gary Vee said this once. He was like he categorizes them in a way where it's like okay, this person's a 1, so that means you'll hang out with them the least. Maybe this person's a 5, hang out with them here and there, and then this person's a 7, so on and so forth. Like you got to figure out who to spend more time with and who to spend less time with in terms of your, I just dropped my pen, in terms of your growth, right? But I think we talked enough about environment. The next is make a calendar. This is something that I personally started doing more of. Is you have to know you can't just wake up like as if it's not. You have to wake up as if it's not. You have to wake up as if it's on purpose, right? You have to wake up with a purpose, on purpose. You have to wake up every day, make a plan, or make the plan. What I do, I make the plan the night before. Okay, you wake up, eat, do what you got to do, and then okay, what? For example, I'm a university student, so I'll be okay. I'm gonna work on this today, this assignment, this today, and then maybe I'm gonna record today, and then I'm gonna hit the gym. You gotta plan out your day, and keep in mind when you're doing this, what I found is like your days are never gonna be perfect. You might be behind schedule a little bit, but keeping a calendar, it just ensures that you get at least something done, and getting something done is better than getting nothing done, right? And I feel like that compound effect of getting at least something done will add up and it will put you above everybody else, because a lot of people aren't like making calendars and planning out their day. People are just waking up and like going through the motions and winging it, right? Watch how far you will literally. I just started making calendars, and I'm already noticing like I'm getting a lot more done, and I'm confident that in the next few months I will see a return on my investment, because I'm tracking what I'm going to do the next day, and I'm actually getting stuff done compared to before where I was kind of just winging it. Right? So make a calendar, because you will at least get something done, right? And it will create a compound effect. Next, go to bed earlier, right? By the way, these are just very simple things that like 90% of people aren't doing these things. People are just kind of living and living like going through the motions. You have to live with purpose. You have to do it on purpose. If you want to recreate yourself throughout the 3 and 4, 3 and 4, right? You have to, if you want to recreate yourself, you got to do these 4 to 5 things, right? And going to bed earlier is one of them, because going to bed earlier, like personally, what I've realized is that it actually makes me not feel like shit. Like I used to go to bed around maybe like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Don't get me wrong, I still have days where I'll go to bed at 2 a.m., you know, still trying to get rid of the habit, but I'm more consistently going to bed at least by like 11:30, max 12, right? And waking up at least I'm trying to work my way up to like maybe 7 a.m., 6:30 ish in the morning. Um, I don't know about 5 a.m. I feel like that's a little overkill. But hey, if you want to do 5 a.m., kudos to you. But I'm just trying to get up earlier, because I feel like when I get up earlier, you have more hours in the day and you can get more stuff done, right? So you can reserve that first little bit of the day to get done your like important tasks, or maybe homework, or rereading like notes and stuff if you're a student like I am. It helps me kind of like get stuff out of the way, right? So then you have the rest of the day to do whatever it is you need to, right? So going to bed earlier. I know it sounds hella cliche that everybody says, but it makes you more productive. But here's the thing. Here's where people mess up with this though. You're not getting up early just for the sake of getting up early to be like, "Ooh, look at me! I get up early. I'm a grind set type guy. I'm like David Goggins. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not getting up early for the sake of getting up early. You're getting up early to actually get shit done, right? You don't. I feel like people are getting up early and doing all these things to feel productive rather than actually being productive. It's like virtue signaling, but except you're like, what is it, virtue productivity ish. You guys get what I'm trying to say. But like, you're just doing it for the sake of looking cool rather than actually being cool, right? Like getting up early, and it ties into making a calendar. So when you're up early, you already know what you're supposed to do because you made the calendar the night before. Rather than it's not like a waste of time. Rather than getting up for the sake of getting up, doing a bullshit 20-step morning routine that doesn't actually improve your life, but you're still in the same spot because you actually didn't do shit, right? Yeah, I think that pretty much self explains all I wanted to say about going to bed earlier, because you have more hours in the day to actually do shit, not make 20-step morning routines. Lastly, we got monk mode. You know, I guess all of this ties into monk mode, because monk mode, here's the thing with monk mode. A lot of people try to say like you have to like cut everybody off and shave your head and, you know, draw like a blue arrow over your head and be like a fucking avatar or something. But that's not the case. I'm just saying you don't got to take it that far. All you got to do is just lock in and just be a little bit more extreme than usual about like getting shit done and achieving your goals. Yes, you can still have a social life, because I feel like, you know, you have to prioritize one thing over the other. Like, for example, for me personally right now, I'm prioritizing more like getting shit done, school, content creation, all that kind of stuff. That's kind of taking priority. I feel like on weekends and stuff, you can. I feel like I'm going to be the first influencer to say this, but you can take a little bit of like time for yourself. It's okay to not work 7 days a week. You can take a little bit of time for yourself because burnout is a real thing. I know all these guys trying to say, "Oh, burnout is it's a real thing." Like, think about it like this: you're playing a basketball game, right? You're LeBron James. You're putting in your minutes on the court, right? Eventually, sometimes LeBron's gonna need it. What do you call it? He's gonna need to sub sometimes to rest up, right? Sometimes you gotta like sub out your best players, give them rest time, so then they're ready for fourth quarter, right? That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta give yourself time to rest up for fourth quarter. You gotta give yourself time to recoup, recover, blah, damn it, I cannot talk for shit today. You got to give yourself time to recover and go back to battle, right? You can't be just guns blazing 24/7. You kind of need time to recharge, reset, because that's how you get burnout and then you just lose momentum and you lose consistency, right? So you got to find uh, times that you can actually sit back and kind of relax here and there because I think that's a healthy way to go. And, keep being social because it's funny because we do all this monk mode stuff but like at the end of the monk mode, you come out of the tunnel and then you're like a weirdo monk who doesn't know how to talk to people. And it's like, what was the point of monk mode? The point of monk mode was to come out better and then reintegrate back into society, right? That's the point of it. So you don't want to lose your ability to actually be social and enjoy life because I feel like life is not just about grind all it's a balance, right? And I know I might get shit for this because everybody's on like there's no such thing as work life balance, but I feel like yes, you have to be unbalanced for a little bit during the winter arc. You might be unbalanced, but like at the same time, you got to figure out in what season you are in life and what you're going to prioritize more, like whether or not like in this season obviously you're going to prioritize getting your shit together, right? But you still have to make time for the enjoyable things in life. I just think that's a healthier way to go about it rather than work 24/7 and you just lose passion for life because what were you working for in the first place? The point of working was that you work so that you can enjoy your life, right? You don't work for the sake of just work. You work so that you can enjoy your life eventually. That's the ultimate goal. That's why we're doing all of this shit. So we can improve our lives, not destroy it. But I think I pretty much explained monk mode. Now monk mode with balance, right? With a little bit of balance. I think it's okay to say that. The last thing I want to talk about. I want to add a bonus one actually. I want to add a bonus one. I'm gonna say and this eraser kind of sucks. Bonus one, I'm going to say it's mindset. It all comes back down to mindset, right? You have to want it more than anybody else, okay? It's all up to you at the end of the day. I can write all these fancy things on the board, but at the end of the day, you have to apply. You have to apply knowledge. It's about mindset. You have to make a plan, like make an actual plan, right? Like, what do you actually want out of this winter arc? What do you wish to accomplish out of this winter? We're not doing winter arc just for the sake of doing winter arc because it looks cool and you can post hashtag winter arc, posting selfies of you at the gym looking like a Sigma male and whatnot. Like, what do you actually like? How are you actually going to improve your life through this winter arc? That's what we're trying to figure out. So you have to actually make a plan. Make a plan for yourself. What are your goals, right? What do you want in the next 5 to 6 months of winter, right? How do you what does your physique look like? That's why I said close your eyes, imagine what you will look like in 6 months when you put in the work, right? Make a tangible plan. you know I like what PBD always says, Patrick B David. He says plan your next 5 moves. Like, what are your next 5 moves to become or to recreate yourself into who you want to be, right? Because The next 7, depending on where you live, I don't know how long your winters are. 7 for us, it's a really long winter. I don't know where you live, but 7, 8 months, you want to recreate yourself. You want to recreate, become someone you are proud of, right? So, what's going to be the game plan to become him? How are you going to become him? The man that you want to become in the next 8 to 6 months, what kind of foods does he eat? How many times does he train a week, right? How many hours does he work a day? What does he read? Who does he hang around with? What kind of content is he consuming? Right? These are the questions you have to start asking yourself, right? So actionable step after you watch this video, go make a plan, right? And figure out how you're going to recreate yourself and become the man that you want to be, right? It's 2025, and it's actually kind of poetic because that the law recreate yourself in 48 laws of power is law 25, year 25. This is a sign to recreate yourself in these last oh no, we're in 2024. Duh. But no, 2024 is coming, right? And this is a sign to recreate yourself because year 25 is the year where you create yourself. Damn it, you recreate yourself, right? So, what are you gonna do? What is the plan? What's the plan gonna be? So after this video, go make a plan, write it out, figure out what you got to do for the next 7 8 months to become who you want to be. With that being said, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Book a one-on-one coaching call. If you're looking to get jacked in the winter arc and you need help making a plan, I got you. And remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small. I'll catch you guys next video. See ya.